Hello and welcome back to our third round coverage from the United States Disc Golf Championship presented by Innova Disc Golf. We are here in Rock Hill, South Carolina on the grounds of Winthrop University. BigSexy commentary, Nate Sexton and Jeremy Koling.
McBeth with a 3 down on the front 9, James 4 down, Nate 5 down, Paul slow start shooting even par on the front 9, but we're moving to the back 9 here at Moving Day at the hot and humid Rock Hill, South Carolina. It's going to be some interesting action coming up on this back 9.
Temperatures pushing 90 degrees, humidity very high. Felt like the middle of summer for sure.
I did some research and it's the hottest it's been in the first week of October in Rock Hill in way before I could find any weeks that were even close to it. So
Well, we're starting out here on hole 10. Exciting hole because there is that eagle chance. You know McBeth will go for it. He always does. It's 474 as the crow flies straight to the basket. 554 if you play it around.
going for the straight play, just narrowly avoiding that left tree. Are you going with the Sexton Firebird?
Yes.
I know in years past you've gone with the Excalibur, correct?
I went OB round 1. Changed up the play.
Changed it up. You don't really need to be that far. You just want to get straight up there by those last trees, and really no matter where you are, you should have a pretty good shot. A nice play there from James in between those last two. Paul's been throwing this really well so far. This one's a bit higher. Looks like it has all the distance it needs. Oh, yeah. Easily. That's pretty close to where he landed in round 1.
Perhaps 50 feet for eagle.
Yeah. And Paul going with that PA Wonder.
Here is Paul from probably 350.
Yeah, it's about right.
Looking really good.
Oh, yeah. In the mulch?
Off the bricks in the mulch.
That never happens. That's incredible.
James with the gator.
The bad thing about those bricks is that if your disc is coming in with some speed,
Yeah.
you're going to gouge your disc. Like,
Or
no
you
doubt
can,
about that.
in practice, I skipped right off him. Looked great, and it launched OB.
Yeah. Zach Melton on my card yesterday hit the bricks in the air and rolled OB. It was a really bad break. Good shot there from James and Nate.
And this is it, 55 feet for an eagle. Oh, man.
And he is, I mean, he's hit metal the 2 times that he's missed that putt. He's still going to be 4 down through 3 rounds in the hole with that tap in birdie. And good execution of the safe Nate Sexton play.
Yeah, man.
That'll never get old for me. I'm sorry. 7 eagles to speak of for the day. Josh Anthon once again getting it like he did in round 1. Cameron Colglazer, Chris Dickerson, Matt Oram, Andrew Presnell, Simon Lizotte, and Aaron Gossage.
Nice. On to hole 11, par 4, 734 feet. This one has OB on the left side and the right, and it's a slopey green. All OBs are limited to previous lie or drop zone. The drop zone measures around 290. So you can do this one the same way as hole 9. You can either play it as a absolute guaranteed, hopefully guaranteed 4, trying to play chip up, chip up, chip up, and putt, or you can go pretty aggressive off the tee, try to bite off a lot of distance and set up a birdie play.
Third hardest hole in the course. 4.52 average.
I'm going Metal Flake Thunderbird roller.
Oh, wow. And that's just going to stay left the whole way. Oh, man. Look at that. That's cutting off so much distance. That's the best drive we've seen of the week so far.
Well, it's my second best drive.
Well, I didn't ask.
But it is very good.
It's a great shot. That leaves you in mortar range, although I'm pretty sure you'll throw a Firebird.
Correct. And we saw James leak OB with this shot.
Yeah, he went
earlier
extra
in the
safe.
tournament.
Yeah.
This time he takes a little off.
Mm-hmm. When you're playing that safe play, there's no need to get that close to the ropes, and he just decided to.
Paul just ripped this out of his hand. He hated it, and I was like, what's he mad about? It's fine.
Yeah.
And it was just so crushed. He knew immediately the thing was out. He goes, it's a mile out of bounds.
Yeah.
That is such a far throw,
It's a beautiful shot, but yeah, that's just those ropes cut in there, and you have to fade down the hill if you're going to bring that kind of distance into play.
But look at Uli throwing a big shot dead straight, and he's got no worries about
way
the ropes.
short.
Paul's is just a rocket ship.
Mm-hmm.
James going with the putter shot. In the background there, you can see all the flags for all the countries and states that are represented here at the championship.
They represent the countries as well?
Yeah, the countries are up there too.
Oh, that's cool, actually. I just thought it was the 50 states.
No, the top row is countries.
We still do have 50 states, correct?
Yeah, last check, yeah.
Okay, cool. And a nice shot there from Paul. Going to get that little forward roll. Oh, yeah, great roll up the hill.
Yeah, we couldn't quite see it, and he asked me how was it. I'm like, I think it's short, but we got up there, it was fine, and now I know why.
Well, you weren't wrong.
Yeah.
And Paul having to go with his former Oregon Destroyer. Firebird.
And he's just, he was saying all his misses are just crushed.
Yeah, wow.
He's got that illness where you just throw crazy hard.
Yeah, he is a little bit sick, as you mentioned, on the front nine. And a little checkup.
Friendly little roll.
Oh, look at that. Now, I'm not going to name any names, but if you want to know how hard this hole is, I'll just name 4 scores. There was a 9, a 10, a 14, and a 15 on hole 11.
My gosh.
I mean, this hole, if you go to that drop zone, you just can't keep it in bounds.
Yeah.
I mean, that number is just going to keep multiplying. It's just insane.
Paul to save par.
And again, a crush miss, like you said. And that's an unsavory putt for bogey. But he does cash.
Moves to -3 for the day with that bogey.
Paul taking his time for his birdie putt as he makes that one. Just barely in on the left side, but enough to give him the birdie. And James is going to reap the rewards of the par play. As you step up to tap in your drop-in birdie after that fantastic drive. And it's just worth mentioning, you don't play any other courses where you hear of a 9, a 10, a 14, and a 15, and it's not the hardest hole in the course.
Yeah.
It's just normal. It's just a thing of Winthrop. Like a score in the double digits.
It happens.
Yeah, that's just that could be any hole at any given time. It's just there's
so
nowhere
punishing.
else like it. It's
so
just
punishing, for sure.
It's fun and it's scary at the same time.
Absolutely. Hole 12, par 4, 901 feet downhill with a little rise back up to the pin. This one is the same rules as the previous 3, drop zone only for all OBs or previous lie. So you got to go big off the tee to have any chance, and then a hyzer that can be kind of blind into this kind of slopey green. This is a very tough birdie to get. I really wanted to throw a roller, thought better of it, and then threw like a super wimpy air shot.
The same thought went through my mind, actually. The wind was kind of drifting left to right, it felt at times. And sometimes it switched a little bit, and you never really know because when you're standing by the Coliseum, the wind just changes. So you really have to trust your read once you're down there by hole 11's basket, and you have to bring that with you up to the tee on 12.
That's a nice big shot from Paul, keeping it wide.
And we saw this yesterday from James, but this one's actually drifting a bit left. It needs to get going to avoid the OB. And yeah, he's past that. Okay.
Long drive there.
But I know he would prefer that just to tilt a little bit more in the air and have him
because the basket's basically straight right from where he landed. So any more turnover is just getting closer and closer to the pin.
Correct.
Paul, perfect shot. See this thing kind of get down near the drop zone. That's the landing zone you're looking for. I'm going with a destroyer here, just trying to lay up to the left. I thought this was pretty good. And when I got up there, it was like really close to out of bounds.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
I did not realize it. I thought I still had like 20 more feet of rim.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got that slow roll that could have been devastating.
James forced to play safe. Even though he had that long drive, he just said it was blind and he hadn't practiced from over there, so he just decided to throw the mid-range. Uli had a little slip on this shot.
Oh, slips it in.
Just barely had enough distance to make the green. Huge mistake if you come up short there.
Mm-hmm.
Paul with the Firebird up into the rocks.
And does it sit down today? It does. Great shot there from Paul. Nice correction from the round 2 unfortunate skip roll that went out of bounds. Cost him his first bogey of the tournament. If you want to play for par, that's the way to do it.
James lays up for an easy par. Paul for birdie from about 38.
Oh,
fantastic putt with just nothing behind it with that drop off. That's a scary one.
Big pickup there for Paul. I'd like to see some numbers from when this hole was scored as a par 5.
Yeah.
Because the hole hasn't changed much at all.
Yeah.
The OB ropes always change a little bit, but the rules of the hole are still the same, the stroke and distance and all that. But 30% of the field took a 3 on this hole.
Yeah. And there's no way it was ever that high back when.
30% of the field was not eagling this hole when it was a par 5.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious, just that number, just calling it a par 4 versus a par 5.
Changes your mentality, and also players, I think, are getting more aggressive and better with the discs as well. More speed, easier to get that distance.
Yeah, it'd be interesting getting our hands on that information just to see what people were doing back then.
Hole 13, par 5. We are in the 1,111-foot position today, the B pin. This one, you want to go long and left off the drive, try to get away from that bike path that plays. Actually, the bike path itself is inbounds, but to the right of it is OB. Then you got to decide, are you going to cross in 2 or are you going to pitch up again, really going for quite a bit of distance again on the second shot to a secondary landing zone and then go across for birdie. You got the car horn razz there. I think that was probably intentional from some passerby.
Yeah, sweet.
Quite rude.
Yep. Well, Paul executes a nice shot either way. Nonetheless, he found himself in the middle of the fairway. P. McBeth didn't love it. It didn't look like with his body language, but that's in a really good spot.
Yeah, good distance.
He just kind of hunched over after he released the disc. I wonder if he hurt himself or...
I don't think so. I like this shot quite a bit, but it just kind of kept skipping over here. It's a little more in the woods than I've been before.
Maybe a sidearm flex play to try to get around the tree from there? James going with a destroyer. Put a lot of turn on this one. This is going to need to catch some heavy edge, and I don't think it's going to happen.
He said he liked the shot, but just not the height. If he said if it was higher, he thinks it would have been just fine what he was looking for. But
and he's going to try to put himself back in position, and he's done a really good shot here with this Thunderbird.
Yeah, fantastic shot.
Mm-hmm. Great execution after the blunder off the tee. And Paul looks like he's playing... Oh, he's going for the turnover shot here. Looked like he might have been lining up the hyzer shot down the road, which we haven't seen anyone do so far in coverage.
Yeah.
But that's a common play for people to try to go hyzer skip down the road and skip back into that landing zone.
This shot was more blind than it appears, and I threw this too high.
Mm-hmm.
Backside, far end.
Yeah. And Paul is in that perfect landing zone to go for the green and 2. And that
Through the tree. Can he pull a seppo? You guessed it.
Are you kidding?
Finds the bubble, just as we saw Seppo do in round 1.
We were talking about how that was a 1 in a million, and now we've seen it twice, so I guess it's 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
We got the odds wrong by quite a bit.
Yeah, we're not odds makers. We're just commentators. I went Firebird there. Probably should have gone faster because I'm 70 short putting for par. James also gets a little bit, lets that get away from him a little, stays turned over too much.
He's a similar distance away as well, putting for par. And you have a lot of trust with that Anheuser. That's a nice shot. Going to leave him just short of circle's edge, but that's a long putt for birdie. And Paul just cheating.
Who designed these parking lots? I mean,
I can't believe how lucky. That's incredible. And just like Seppo hits the tree to get to that spot, too.
That's really the only way you're going to end up there.
Yeah.
So if your tree takes a little speed off your shot.
Oh,
James, so close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really never really liked that one out of his hand.
We must have missed my putt, but it was very similar to James's. I got a little bit of chain.
Oh, no.
Got a little bit of chain from about 70. Didn't quite stick it. Hole 14, par 3, 413 feet, going downhill with hazard rules. Everything to the left of the sidewalk that isn't the green area is going to be a hazard penalty. The road long is traditional out of bounds. Straight at it with a mid-range, giant backhand hyzer, or forehand power hyzer are the most common plays. Paul going with that big forehand, a little inside.
Mm-hmm. It's going to need to check up strong, and that's going to put him at that range where he's going to have to make a decision. He's got 9 strokes right now in James Conrad. Do you need to go for these big putts? Yesterday, the answer was yes, and he was rewarded for it. Today, we'll see.
Yeah. Definitely interesting. Paul catches the edge of that tree, comes up well short of where he meant to.
And this is a nice level line here with this Excalibur. That's got bullseye written all over it. Oh, and even got the post. If that basket had been in the ground, that would have been an ace.
Yeah, maybe.
This is really high and really wide. Well, I should say tight, not wide.
Safe.
Oh, wow. Just narrowly hanging on to the edge of the circle.
Yeah, he's sitting on the line, but it is inbounds.
Ball playing the safe layup. Oh, yeah. McBeth that's just too far. I don't care what position you're in. You're not running that putt unless it's last round, and you got to make it.
Yes. James has the rope kind of in his way, but he clears it with the grace of a gazelle up and over the rope and perfect.
Yes. That was sweet. And that was 100% commitment. He did not slow down on that putt whatsoever. And Paul makes that one left side.
Pars for both Pauls and birdies for those non-Pauls.
Favorite putt in the game.
Yeah, man. Hole 15, par 4, 539 through the triple mandatory. This one you want to go low and long. Try to get through that mando and get a big skip to the left, or even just go as far as you can. Sets you up with a good angle to come back with a turnover or forehand. If you come up short, just making the mando isn't enough. If you're a little short, there's really no angle. So you really want to get probably a distance driver out for most players.
And hands down, the most unique green, really, I mean, not just at Winthrop, really one of the more unique greens that you're going to see in the sport of disc golf. There's so many, there's not like a safe side. If there's any safe side, it might be short left. This is a nice shot to make the mandatory, but not nice to get the birdie.
Yep, that's going to be a pitch out. James, super early release, but actually kind of a good kick. Didn't stop dead. He still got another 100 feet out of it and stayed in the middle.
Mm-hmm. And P. McBeth is looking like he's missing the mandatory.
He didn't miss it, but caught some sticks.
There is some thick foliage there that can stop the disc.
And Uli, after I made the mando, I was kind of complaining about my shot, and he said, "I'll trade you right now." And I said, "Deal." So thankfully, I'm going to get to play from that lie, and he's got to go in the woods. Nice control on the forehand roller there.
Mm-hmm. And the mistake that you'll see a lot of players make when they throw that forehand roller is get something that just doesn't go far enough left. They want to go with their traditional, really overstable flick roller and just stay straight. Oh, and
Paul had to crawl in there, and he was only able to get about 7 or 8 feet.
And this is in that range where no human can save par. Maybe Paul can, but no other human. And that does.
He hit that early branch.
Mm-hmm.
It's still fine. It's where he would have been if he went with a more traditional forehand roller or something.
Okay. Yeah, some of those places you can get off the fairway are just treacherous. There's nothing you can do to save par.
I just kind of had to pitch out there. The too many branches to really put the steam on it that it would require to get to the basket.
Mm-hmm. And Paul going with his white PA1 here, and that's getting just inside the circle. A little bit fluffy on the approach, but that might be, he might have a straight line to the pin from there. I'm not quite sure if he has a tree in the way or not.
James has this nice gap. Left side is the good side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say that might have gone past that good landing zone on the left side, but there's way fewer things in the way. If you come up short right, you're going to have to come up with some crazy horse putt.
Yeah.
And that's the way to approach the hole right there.
Paul told me he was going to try to skip this in.
Oh, he's put a good effort on it. Wow, that had the right height to do so. Oh, yeah.
Very nice putt there.
Tree most certainly in the way. Doesn't affect Uli.
James in for par. McBeth looking at another bogey.
The human side of the cyborg McBeth has been shown so far this round.
He's still getting plenty of birdies, 4 under for the round, but more bogeys than you'd expect.
Yeah.
Hole 16, par 3, 391 with hazard all around the basket. This one you have a straight shot with a fairway driver or mid-range if you really throw hard, or a big forehand or turnover around the outside. The hazard is just really close to the basket on both sides. Once you're pinned deep, it's no more than 10 meters, maybe less than on the right side, so you really have to be careful that you stick this landing where you want it, otherwise you're going to get that penalty and be putting for a really tough par save. Yuli released that and he immediately said hit the tree because he knew the thing was it was going way out of bounds.
Well, good break.
Yeah. I thought this was a decent shot, but it hit like a different tree that I haven't hit before.
Yeah, that catches those high ones. You got to drive that low ceiling, but also have it kind of raised to keep the distance. It's a tricky forehand.
It is.
It's not just the big wide hyzer that it looks like it should be. Although it is at the same time. It's like,
yeah, it's just hard.
It's just not easy. It's, those ropes really come in super tight up by the green.
James with a nice shot.
That's looking too tight, but I've called this wrong before from Paul, so I don't want to say anything until I see the result.
Possible friendly tree. He's inside the circle just barely.
Oh, really?
Paul trying to sink this.
Oh, wow.
Right at the lock.
Yeah, that's a great shot. Take that with you to hole 17. Oh, man. Oh, and Paul off to the right side.
Both birdie putts missed. And it's looking like a par frame for the lead group. Hole 17, par 3, 254 feet going downhill to the B pin island green. So if you miss this one, you're re-teeing. You've got to get all the way up there over the hay bales. The right side obviously much safer than the left, but this basket is so close to the out of bounds. If you're even 30 feet long, running that putt coming back is pretty scary.
And Paul going with his H1 here.
Good height.
Good line.
Wow.
Right here, right now. Yeah. Oh, man. Paul just, once again, to that top 5 sidearm class. He just keeps doing these aces. It's hard to deny that he's got some skill.
That was amazing.
And we're definitely going to see that one again. High, and Paul has done so well in this hole over the years. Hardly ever misses the green, but the first time he actually makes it in the side of the basket, hole in one. Incredible.
Awesome. In front of the big gallery, everybody freaking out.
And I was on Chase Card. I didn't even hear the noise. We were in the scoring room, I think, and didn't even hear that.
Wow.
I don't know how. I mean, it's just an eruption. And great shot there, but it's on the pins.
No, I know. I thought for a moment, man, I can ace this too, and then I thought, don't be crazy.
Did Paul clear it out of the basket?
No, he didn't. There was a nice pink target down there.
Did he offer?
No, but I didn't want him to.
I mean, if you ace it and you bounced out and you went OB,
then I would punch him right in his stomach. But
I mean, he's just got a trampoline sitting there. It's kind of like an extra target, though, in a way.
And McBeth with the Nova heading for it.
No.
It's a little low.
That's the first mistake we've seen him make on 17. That Nova's been almost in the bullseye both times so far. And what's he throwing now?
Going to a rock.
And that needs to slow down. Looking pretty good, but yeah, okay. Minimize the damage. Let's get that out of there now. Oh, there you go. Like you said, such a scary putt there.
Yeah.
Jim's able to block out the hay bales in his mind and just execute a good solid putt from 30 feet. And Paul able to save the 4. That's a hard 4 to get.
Really hard.
You really have to collect yourself because this number can turn into a huge score if you just don't gather yourself, compose yourself, and execute 2 good shots as Paul's done there to save the 4. And this is kind of like the ideal spot to be. You don't have to worry about putting towards the hay bales. Pin high, 24 feet, just like you practice. Perfect birdie. Not as cool as an ace, but nothing is.
Not nearly. Hole 18, par 4, 647 feet. As we've been saying, this one's got it all. OB left, a little bit of a water carry. OB right, Mando tree, slopey fairway, extra slopey green, extra tall basket.
Extra tall basket.
So they kind of took all the elements that make holes hard, threw them all into one hole here. And it's no accident that this consistently plays as one of the top 3 hardest holes on the course.
Yeah, I mean, going back for years. This year, it's on this round, it's the second hardest hole, 4.57. Hasn't even been playing close to par. It's just been brutalizing people.
Paul with the safe forehand. Bottom of the hill, so he's got a long way to go, but well in bounds. My forehand a little bit farther up the fairway, but still on that upslope. Ideally, with a really good drive, you can kind of reach the top.
And James going Thunderbird. Slight Annie, but that's going to fade out nice on top of the hill.
Good shot.
All the way up there by the mandatory tree. McBeth lining up a rock here, I believe.
Nice and easy.
And playing to that little bubble, you can see there's a little flat spot right there. If you're not in that spot, almost every place you can land here, unless you just crush it, is going to have an awkward stance for your approach.
This is a little bit wide, yeah, and it's staying OB high.
You got to get edge. If you're not throwing something that has an overstable finish on this hole, that out of bounds is going to come into play so much.
Paul coming in hot. That's safe.
Great shot there.
And I don't often, I don't bring my phone with me, but I don't often check scores. But I had asked someone to show me the scores before this hole because I wasn't sure what implications there were for where the lead card would be for the next day. I knew that even if Paul birdied, all I needed was par. I was going for that shot.
Oh.
But I was trying to reach the pin, but I don't think my heart was totally in it because even more than I want a stroke closer to Paul, I want to be there the final day and be in the action, see what's happening. I think that gives me a better chance to win than a stroke and being on the second card.
Sure.
James with a fantastic gator shot.
And was that a fire chicken that you just threw?
I threw a leopard 3.
Oh, I see. I thought you threw your fire chicken at a couple fire chickens.
I almost hit some literal chickens.
And those chickens have just been hanging out up here on the top of the hill 18. Never seen them here before, but I guess their home's here. And with all of these spectators and players, they have not been scared away.
They're little guys. They're like bantam roosters or something.
Just hanging out. And Paul with a quality layup there. He'll have to take a bogey in the last hole, unfortunately. And McBeth will tap in for his birdie and finish at 4 under for the round. A round where we saw a lot of bogeys, but enough birdies to stay above water. And we'll still have 5 strokes on James as he comes up to tap in his birdie.
Great birdie there from James.
He's making up a little bit of room there, making up 3 strokes with a 7 under round, a quality round, a 60 here at Winthrop Gold. And Paul, 5 under. Not the round he was looking for, but nothing to scoff at either.
No. There you see it. Paul at 29, James 24, myself 21, and here is our leaderboard. Kevin Jones with a minus 11, making another appearance on the lead card after we saw him here last year. So those guys tied 5 shots back, and then I am 8 shots back.
Some separation on the lead card, but anything can happen here at Winthrop Gold, as you've seen. Big numbers are to be had. Last round coming up tomorrow. Be sure to check out all the action from Winthrop Gold.